Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, ready to chat about what is happening in cryptocurrency right now, live. Welcome, Validator ETH, and everyone else just joining us. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. A real treat. Honestly, it's been a kind of a rough period in my life, and I'm really super grateful for those of you guys who have stuck around and helped the show. I went through a lot back in between like April and June. Resulted in me deleting my channel, as you guys know, because of a kind of mental break that I had due to using too many nootropics. And it's been a period of kind of trying to pick up scraps and recovery for me from a lot of that. And damn, did I learn, and I'm still learning a lot of lessons just reflecting on it. But I thank you so much just for continuing to support and show up. It gives me a lot of meaning to be able to do this show for you guys and talk about crypto and what's going on. So just a huge thanks again for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on and cover some of the major topics that are going on today. Maybe I should just stick to like the three main things that are happening, I think. So things are a little bit more concise. At least that's how I approached it today. It's not a wild amount of news, but there were three things at least that I think were quite notable that you want to know about. Of course, we'll look at the prices and everything else. And for everything else that we do miss, please let me know, of course, in the comments down below. I do read all my comments. And you can also check out our little banner up there. Look, Fidelity report shows resilience to crypto winner. Huge adoption gap among investors, whatever that means. Circle announces USDC multi-chain expansion and transfers. That's old news. I believe they're up to 13 different blockchains now that they're going to be supporting with USDC, something like that. That's pretty insane. Anyway, yeah, that's sometimes a useful way to go about it, just to look at that banner. So let's go ahead and start off with the prices here. So we have Bitcoin down 2.2%. We are crabbing, aren't we? Almost back down to 20,000 bucks. It was holding up quite well, but we did get some devastating news today for Amazon. After markets down like 20%. Massive. That's one of the biggest tech stock drops that I've heard of in general, let alone in recent history, for sure. The most notable one, at least since yesterday, with Facebook and some of their own devastation that's been going on. It's what's going on with these tech companies and their stocks. For example, so you have Facebook crash, you have an Amazon crash, and you have Twitter being bought up by Elon Musk, going to be delisted from the stock market. It's like the tech stocks are moving further and further away from correlation. At least it seems like they want to with cryptocurrencies. But that's part of, I think, what actually did line up today is that correlation did increase somewhat with the NASDAQ down. Cryptos did follow suit. So that's why you're seeing these prices today. Ethereum at $1,519.90. And still up nicely on the week, though. You can see there 18.3%. Dogecoin is the big boy. And more and more people are saying that is because of Elon Musk, who has been a hardcore Dogecoin fan, kind of taking the helm over at Twitter. Maybe more interest about what he could be doing for Dogecoin adoption with integration into Twitter now that he has more of a direct say. So maybe this is one of the pumps that makes the most sense for Dogecoin out of all the ones I've seen. Up 33.2% on the week. Not too bad. Cardano also nice on the week, 11.5%. Not too shabby in this crab market. Hopefully that doesn't come back down. Let's see over the last 24 hours. Clayton, I don't know what that is, 22%. Terra Classic USD. Wow, that's a crazy pump. Wow, up 18.3% in the last 24 hours and almost went vertical there. Quite insane. I wonder what the reasoning for that one is. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. Hola from Miami, Romantico 319. Thank you for joining me here. I would love to visit you sometime in Puerto Rico, Validator ETH. Haven't been to Puerto Rico since I was a little kid. My stepdad's Puerto Rican. I don't know if you had heard that one before, but I went as a child and I had a great time. I would love to revisit some point. And it's a great place for the crypto community. How is it doing for you out there? Are you loving it out there? Are you meeting other crypto heads? Are you attending any meetups? I'm curious. And Azam, hey, Curb Shifter, welcome. I don't know if that's the ban hammer you got there in the chat, but I'm definitely not going to be giving you one of those. You get like the warm hammer or whatever the version of that is. But yeah, Peter Schiff had this to say in regards to Amazon and their crash. Amazon is crashing over 20% in after-hours trading on a Q3 earnings miss. The company also guided Q4 earnings lower to between $0 and $4 billion. $0 during, the holiday season. That would be insane for Amazon versus estimates of $4.7 billion. Basically, says Peter Schiff, Amazon has no clue what, if anything, it will return. Owning shares is a total crapshoot. So you can see why the price took an absolute plunge today. Dang. Another I was going to say coin there, but another ticker symbol that went down was Core Scientifics, the world's largest Bitcoin miner that is publicly listed. They were down over 70% today. This is detailed in this story here on decrypt.co. They're talking about how they're depleting all sorts of reserves. It says cash resources, but they are almost out of Bitcoin too. They had at one point back in September, just a few weeks ago, on September 30th, they had 1,051 Bitcoin, or about $21.6 million. And that is down. Now we're finding through a filing that was given to the SEC, down to just 24 Bitcoin. So from 1,051 Bitcoin, like less than a month ago, down to 24 Bitcoin or $495,000. They've had a lot of costs, of course. Bitcoin's price has not been keeping pace, especially when you consider the amount of competition for miners. You're looking at the average difficulty for Bitcoin continuing to climb. So the hash rate is climbing and then the difficulty adjusts about every 2 weeks. And it was up this past weekend over 3% for it. So this kind of competition is making it more difficult for any Bitcoin miner to be profitable. Like, who is even profitable mining Bitcoin? My thought was, if you really want to buy Bitcoin, as I was kind of alluding to earlier on Twitter, then it might make more sense for you to just be a solo miner, have one rig in the corner, don't kill yourself with electricity costs, and then hope, maybe say some prayers, and then hope that you get that lottery ticket of getting to validate that next block and getting the big Bitcoin reward. That's probably your best bet these days, rather than trying to be consistently profitable while the prices continue to stay somewhat subdued for Bitcoin and you see the hash rate climbing. And electrical costs seem to be one of the issues that this company, Core Scientific, was talking about in regards to their issues. They say it right here. They have been severely impacted by the prolonged decrease in the price of Bitcoin, the increase in electric costs, the increase in the global Bitcoin network hash rate, and litigation with Celsius. So apparently Celsius owes them millions of dollars in unpaid electricity tariffs, according to court documents. And apparently Core Scientific is losing $53,000 a day covering what Celsius has refused to pay. So that is what is bringing it down 70%. The company feels like they might not be solvent after the end of the year, if not earlier. They're exploring other activities to try to stay afloat. Apparently they've hired a company to try to help them restructure. But it looks like Bitcoin miners, as has been suspected for a while, are facing some serious issues here. This, I think, is actually and others have argued this as well. A rather good thing for Bitcoin in a way, because it does decentralize the network. It creates opportunities for other miners, especially if for some reason you had Core Scientific have to shut down their rigs, right? They do become insolvent. They sell those. The hash rate would come down. Difficulty expectedly would come down, and this would make it more profitable for other miners, maybe in other areas. Maybe others would come online to go ahead and pick up that slack. But you have to imagine that a company like this has deeply entrenched partners. They probably do get discounts on their electricity. They probably have lower costs overall than like some sort of larger scale new miner that would have to deal with new compliance costs, if those exist, deal with acquiring that hardware, deal with training and staff, where Core Scientific already has a track record of having this stuff. So if they're facing issues, I imagine a lot of Bitcoin miners are facing issues here, and it might be difficult for anyone to come in and completely usurp them. So it could result in the Bitcoin hash rate coming down, but arguably there's probably enough security for now. There is a website, I can't remember it right now, Area 51. I always remember it by Area 51 or Proof of Work 51, something like that, where you can see the current cost to attack a network. And I would imagine that Bitcoin, despite its hash rate right now, would be possible for the Federal Reserve, of course, to print enough money to attack the network. But there's still the issue, of course, of having to acquire the hardware. So that's part of what gives Bitcoin its resilience. And I don't think this is some sort of death knell, but it just goes to show that miners are suffering right now. And unless prices keep climbing for Bitcoin, it just might not be attractive to validate that network versus other ones, of course, if they're profitable either. THORChain, so I had that here in the title. This is still a developing story. I was just trying to sift and figure out what's going on today, and this came out right before I went live. I started reading about this. So THORChain had to halt their platform due to an unknown bug. This is being reported on the block here, where I first heard about it. No loss of funds or solvency. Apparently, THORChain had tweeted that its developers are aware of a chain halt and have likely identified the source of the issue. But I tried to go over to THORChain on Twitter, and I could find no such tweet. Maybe it was deleted, I suppose. But really, the main source... Hey, what's up, Scott? Hey, Meredith. Good to have you guys. Thank you so much for making it out. Appreciate your time. And so this is probably the best source that I could find for it. It looks like here, the Discord. THORChain is currently experiencing technical issues. Swap and LP actions are halted. Funds are safe. Ethereum and ERC20 swaps are fully functioning via THORSwap DEX aggregator. Thank you for your patience and understanding. It looks like the devs are aware of a chain halt and have identified the likely cause due to a unique transaction type, nothing to do with a solvency. An update will be posted as soon as there is more confirmed information. And it seems that some of the decentralized applications that are dealing with THORChain have also been warning about issues. And hopefully we find more about this soon. THORChain has promised cross-chain swaps while keeping full sovereignty. But it is troubling when you see that blockchains or platforms like this are halted, right, because of some sort of bug. Since I think uptime should really be one of the selling points of blockchains and decentralized ledger technology versus centralized databases. So how much better are we than them if we can just halt the blockchain and start it up again? How decentralized is a project really? So I think this is THORSwap's first big test that I've heard of out in the public. Maybe the reason we haven't heard much about it yet is that they either don't want to create drama where none really exists, or they don't want to draw attention to it because it could create bad PR. But usually it's best to be transparent with the community, I find, and folks. Generally the best way to go about things. So I'll update on you on that tomorrow if we hear of anything sort of serious or brand new. But for now, if you are involved with THORChain, you should probably keep tabs on that, especially if you're using any of these dexes or something like that, or you're LPing or something on THORChain. So this also came out. Twitter, I think it's being blown up as like news that is bigger than it is. People are selling it as though Twitter is integrating NFTs directly and allowing for buys and sells directly on Twitter. But I'll tell you, it's not the case. This is the original source here by Twitter Dev. So, I mean, it is a legitimate source. Twitter Dev is the voice of the Twitter Dev team and your official source for updates, news, and events related to Twitter API. So they wrote some links to NFTs on Rarible, which is like cross-blockchain NFT marketplace. Magic Eden, Dapper Labs, and Jump Trade NFT will now show you a larger picture of the NFT alongside details like the title and the creator. One more step in our journey to let developers impact the tweet experience. So this seems to be some sort of pilot program. It's not completely launched out into the wild, as you can see here, for illustrative purposes only. And it's only for select, it looks like, only for a select number of marketplaces. It has been reported as being blockchain agnostic, but it's basically just a link. So if you just put a link to one of those 4 different platforms or application websites or whatever, if you put a link to that in the NFT, then it might show a picture like that and a link to the creator and some details. So and it'll of course let you go to that marketplace listing and buy the listing there if so you choose and interact with it that way. But this isn't really much different than putting some sort of link. Like when you put a link to YouTube on Twitter and it automatically shows some sort of thumbnail, it's quite similar to that. So to me, it just goes to show that people are trying to get clickbaity here and create news that I'd really rather nothing. But it is interesting, of course. I think what's of note here is that Twitter does seem to be interested in figuring out how to collaborate with NFTs further and perhaps even collaborate with blockchains after that. This is just one, of course, facet of blockchain. So in a way, they are interacting with blockchains and they're supportive of it that way. We'll see how Twitter evolves now with Elon Musk at the top of things as we go forward here. I know the founder of Twitter was out there today talking about some new Web 5, or even in Web 3 yet, some new Web 5 application, Jack. Let's see, can we find Jack? At Jack? What's it called? It's I wasn't going to show it too much. It looks like it's been out since 2021. I guess it hasn't really explored in popularity yet, but yeah, let's take a look. It's called Zion. They're going to be releasing some sort of version 2, it looks like. It's going to be basically all around Bitcoin using Lightning Network payments to send between creators and fans, is said here. Log into any website on the web without creating an account. Switch to new streaming service and keep your preferences. Leave Twitter and Instagram and take all your connections with you. Those are goals. So that's not exactly what's happening just yet. But it kind of reminds me of just so many projects that want to be the future of money or be the future of social media or everything else. But, you know, I was initially excited, but the fact that it's been out for a little bit now and just doesn't seem to have that much engagement just yet just leaves me a little bit more tentative about this. Although there is something in decentralizing identity that exists when you kind of have some sort of DID or these unique identifiers for identity, as they call decentralized identifiers, and they're kind of linked to your wallet, your personal wallet. People can start to figure out who you are. It doesn't really add to sort of anonymity, and I struggle to see how this will be the case as was written here. In contrast to typical federated identifiers, DIDs, these decentralized identifiers, have been designed so that they may be decoupled from centralized registries, identity providers, and certificate authorities. How would you stop someone or stop any of these different blockchain forensics companies like Chainalysis from coupling identity to certain payments? I guess it could be more difficult if they're true micropayments in the Lightning Network linked to some sort of new wallet and, again, a new identity. But eventually, you know, people can figure out patterns of the amounts of money sent, when they are sent. They can figure out the content of how people engage with these different like decentralized social media sites that might exist on this new platform for what's being called Web 5 by them, by the block. Web 5, an extra decentralized web platform. But just in case, you never know. Something could take off, could be the future. It's being pushed here by, again, the creator of Twitter. The Bitcoin maxis seem to like it. It's fueling the Lightning Network. Maybe it does take off, and if Bitcoin is the one thing, it would, I guess, be useful to be following this and maybe consider making an account early on. And as always, I don't know what the future holds. I just like to share with you guys opportunities. So there you go. It's going to be rolled out in stages, and Zion seems to be mostly just using the payments for now, but there are going to be other applications, and there probably are other applications already for you to check out. But this is the first I hear of it for this new Web 5 platform. Where's Web 3? Where's Web 4? I guess Web 3 is Ethereum, or I don't know, Web 2. I'm losing track here. A lot of different webs. Now I'm really thrown off with Web 5. We need a Web 6. Is anybody working on a Web 6? Hex has 100% uptime. I guess so far, yeah, it's fair enough because it's on Ethereum, which has, I mean, yeah, it has 100% uptime as far as I know. Even Bitcoin doesn't have 100% uptime. But I can't think of a situation where Ethereum was completely halted. Even when we've had any sort of fork, it came slower to a halt with like difficulty time bombs, but there was never a complete halt. So I wonder if Ethereum is the first blockchain that never had an issue with that. Or I guess the most decentralized large blockchain that never had to halt itself. And of course, the smart contracts that are on it, like Hex, would I guess benefit off of that metric as well. But fair enough, beached whale. So I'll finish here now with a quote of the day, but hopefully something that you find useful. I know that I took some away from this list here that was posted by Tessa Davis. 10 must-know Japanese concepts that will improve your life. Number one is I'm probably going to butcher some of these, how you pronounce some of these, so please excuse me in advance. Tori, never compare yourself. Everyone blossoms in their own time in different ways. Don't judge yourself by someone else's path. 2, Kaizen, continuously improve, constantly strive to improve across all areas of your life. Small changes accumulate and make all the difference. 3, Wabi Sabi, embrace imperfection. Nothing lasts, nothing is complete. Accept your own flaws and those of others. Find beauty in imperfection. 4, Motainai, don't be wasteful. Everything deserves respect and gratitude. Recognize the value in what's around you and don't waste it. Number 5, Gaman, have dignity during duress. Hard times need to be met with emotional maturity and self-control. We need patience, perseverance, and tolerance. Number 6, Yugen, appreciate the mysterious beauty. Often we feel the beauty in an object without it being stunning to look at. Discover subtle beauty beyond aesthetics. Experience something words cannot describe. Number 7, Ikigai. Know your reason for being. Define the reason you get up in the morning. Make it something you are good at, passionate about, and the world needs. This is meaning. Number 8, Shikita Ganai. Accept and let go. Some things simply aren't within our control. Accept what you cannot change and move on. Number 9, Kintsugi. Repair cracks with gold. Imperfections are a thing of beauty. The journeys we all take are golden. Our flaws are embellishments that make us more beautiful. Number 10, Omoyari. Show consideration for others. Life is better when we care for others. Be thoughtful. Build compassion. And, you know, I just sent so much thought and love. I want to see you guys do well. I want crypto to treat you well in so many ways, whether it's, again, new opportunities, new platforms to interact, new ways to gain freedom, optionality in your life, maybe mad gains at some point would be cool. Which might grant you that freedom, of course. I just want to send love to all of you and appreciation. And thanks for giving me that sort of meaning again in the morning to do something that I think is super impactful, and that is helping spread the word about what we are building and doing here in this industry. So take care, everyone. Much love and stay cryptic. Peace.